All right, so what's going on, sports fans? How you doing? Hopefully, you're having a great day. Now, this episode, I do have to talk about college football playoff, the championship. You know, it is what it is. I don't really need to get that much into the game. Actually, I'll just pull up the score right there. You can see it's right there for you. Really, no reason to break down the game. I want to talk about coming out of that game. How should we feel about all of this? So, yes, TCU lost 65-7 to Georgia. I mean, is that a score you want to see in a championship game? No. But when you look at TCU, when you look at Georgia, you see the discrepancies on their rosters. Georgia has five-star guys starting, backed up by four-star players, while TCU has maybe a couple five stars, mainly four, backed up by three-star players. With that, you get what you get. I mean, it is what it is. But the talk from these SEC fans and all this Alabama fans talking about, you know, if we were there, we wouldn't have lost by that much. Well, did Alabama play a season? Yes. Did they win the SEC West? No. Did they make the SEC title game? No. So Bama didn't deserve to be there. They weren't there. So I don't want to hear from them about, trying to make it seem like TCU didn't deserve to be there. TCU had a great season. Only loss came in the Big 12 championship. Mind you, they beat Michigan before this game. Michigan, undefeated Big Ten champion. Big name school. TCU beat them. TCU earned their way to the title game. This game just says way more about Georgia's dominance, more so about TCU, you know, deserving to be there. Georgia, for back to back years, most dominant program in college football, obviously, because they won the title back to back years. And they're the favorite to win it next year. Because, yes, they're going to lose some people, but remember, I said they have plenty of five-star players. They also have five-star players that'll be ready to step in for those guys who do leave. So the talent's going to be there. I mean, yes, you lose Stetson Bennett, the 26-year-old or whatever. Now, maybe that's where Georgia maybe comes back to the pack a little bit, is because they're going to be, I think it's what, Carson Beck, that's who's on here, and I'm assuming he's going to be the starter next season. But Georgia doesn't really have a hard schedule, so he'll have plenty of time to get used to Georgia football and all that. So by the time we get to the end of the season, and I guess they may play Alabama in the SEC title game, Carson Beck could be Stetson Bennett 2.0. Why not? At least. Um, so yeah, I feel like this talk about like TCU and people talking about, oh, the committee screwed us out of a good championship game. No, they didn't. They just didn't. TCU was supposed to be there. TCU beat a good Michigan team. They just lost to a dominant Georgia team. That's it. Point blank, period. And like I said, coming out of that game, it just speaks to Georgia, Kirby Smart, how good they've been the past couple of years. And we saw with David Pollock. Well, actually, before I get into that, I will say I watched the game on the Pat McAfee broadcast, which, if you didn't watch it, you missed out. Pat McAfee and crew were hilarious. The game was a blowout, wasn't competitive. Pat McAfee and his guys were kind of just talking like, probably like most of us were doing at home. Just kind of talking about random stuff. Sure, it still had to deal with the game, but it's like, at that point, do you really need to do hardcore analysis of what's going on? No. Georgia was going to win the game. The only question was going to be by how much. Well, we learned. There you go. It's right there on the screen. 58. So, like I said, I'm not going to take anything away from TCU. Great season. Max Duggan, I give him all the credit. That guy's tough. Georgia's just better. And it also, I don't know if I've heard this yet, but I'm sure some people are going to sit there and try to say, this is the reason why we don't need 12 teams. Actually, no. This shows why we need 12 teams. Because the discrepancy, like I mentioned earlier, in the roster between a Georgia and a TCU shows that the 14 playoff just creates an exclusive club of halves: Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan, Clemson, or whatever your 5 or 6 teams are. That's where all the good players are going. By expanding it to 12, TCU probably gets more 5 stars now, because now, when was it Sonny Dykes walks into a kid's living room and goes, "Hey, yeah, we got embarrassed by Georgia, but just realize that we will be back in the playoffs. So there's a chance you come to our school, we get a little better. Maybe one day we're here winning a title." So that's something that if you hear somebody say, stop them right away and be like, no, that doesn't make any sense. The 12-team playoff will be the best thing that's happened in college football. Guarantee it. This 4-team thing's run its course. We're getting the same matches. We were lucky last year we got Cincinnati. Cincinnati lost. Everybody said, oh, Cincinnati didn't deserve to be there. Yes, they did. We got TCU this year. Deserved to be there. I get it. Almighty Alabama wasn't in there. Alabama didn't deserve it. And to get back on this SEC thing as well, can we stop with this? Like, the SEC is top to bottom, real competitive. It's not. It's top heavy. Every year you go into it, Georgia's coming out of the East, and there's a good chance Alabama's coming out of the West. 95% of the time, Alabama comes out of the West. It was only this year we got lucky that Tennessee challenged Georgia in the East, LSU challenged Alabama, and ultimately overtook Alabama in the West. That doesn't happen. That rarely happens. Most years, Alabama wins the West by 2-3 games over, I don't know, insert whatever overhyped team you want to put, A&M or whoever. And since Florida kind of fell off in the East, Georgia's been winning that side of the SEC by 2-3 games. So it's like, what are we doing here? Also, we're probably going to get the preseason top 25, whenever that comes out, and they'll do the same thing they did this year. Remember good old Kentucky, when Kentucky was ranked like 6th or something? Where'd they finish? Exactly. And that is like what leads to all of this, where people think the SEC is like so competitive. It's not. They just have the best athletes usually go there. They have the 2 best programs in Georgia and Alabama, yes, but the rest of it, it's like they have 2 S-tier teams. The rest of it, I don't know, B? Maybe that's disrespectful. I don't know. You can let me know in the comments after the video, but it's top heavy. Not saying it's the only conference that is, but I mean, we need to chill with some of this talk. But like I said, 12 teams. We got to wait another year. We get one more year of this 4-team deal next season. After that, 12 teams. I guarantee you, parity. You'll start hearing that word, which college football fans seem to be afraid of, because then that means you're too much like the NFL. Okay, I guess that's a problem. But just want to say, great year by TCU. Went up against a better team. I mean, dominant year by Georgia, and you showed that. Now, also, think of where things could have been if in the Ohio State game, that kicker makes that kick when, the ball dropped at midnight on New Year's Day. Georgia squeaks out of that game. Who knows where we might have been? When we got TCU Ohio State, closer margin. Who knows? Maybe TCU wins that game. Who knows? So, yes, is it the best looking thing for your sport to have a championship game 65-7? No. But let's act like it ruined people's experience or whatever. Like after a while, I was just fascinated with how good Georgia was. I'm not even a Stetson Bennett fan. I was, I mean, he played well. You gotta give him that credit. He ran through some passes. He played really well. And the interesting thing with Stetson Bennett to me is like, I don't know how to judge him on the next level. Because one, the age thing's gonna, I guess, throw some teams off maybe. Because like I said, he's like 25, 26. Like, where does he fit? Will he be a career backup? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I will definitely keep an eye out for Stetson Bennett at the next level if he does actually get drafted or anything, because I think his case is kind of fascinating. Because for 2 years, played dominant with Georgia, but I think for me, I'm gonna wonder, when he goes to an NFL team, it's not gonna be the gap isn't going to be like Georgia to Team X in the NFL. That gap's much smaller. Plus, I guess positionally, the gap will be much smaller at the next level. And when it's more of an even playing field, how good is Stetson Bennett? So that's definitely a question I have about him. But yeah, as a Georgia quarterback, he was great. I mean, he forced JT Daniels to leave. JT Daniels is supposed to be the guy. But no, Bennett took that opportunity. He ran with it. JT Daniels left. Now on his, second school since Georgia? Maybe even third? I can't remember. No, I think he went USC to Georgia, Georgia to West Virginia, now West Virginia to somewhere. He's back in the transfer portal. So, um, yeah, definitely looking forward to next season. See how good TCU can be next year. Will they be back in the conversation? I don't know, but yeah, I just like I said, game wise, if I was gonna break it down or whatever, I could have done like a minute video on as a YouTube short or something because not a lot you need to say. One school's really good. No, one school's dominant. The other school's really good. The dominant team was just too good. So let me know down in the comment section what you think. Did you make it through the game? That's one. I did. Like I said, I was watching the Pat McAfee broadcast. So if I was watching the national broadcast, maybe I'd have turned it off. But McAfee was just too good. I had to just see how random his conversation would get as the game went on. And definitely enhanced the viewing experience. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if you think this game was some type of indictment on the committee or on TCU. Like I said, I don't think it is in either way. I still said the committee got the right 4 teams in. So because of that, I can't really say we got cheated out of anything. So let me know down below. But also make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, notification bell, and share it to a fellow sports fan. Try to help me out and grow in the community. Would really appreciate it. We're on the road to a better 2023 on the channel. Still, gotta remind you, integrating live streams into the channel. Not sure when the next one will be. I would like to do one of the playoff games, if not multiple playoff games this weekend. We'll see. Also, start doing some Celtics games. Hawks games. I'll do some of those as well, and we'll kind of see. As of right now, I'm kind of just doing them randomly. So make sure you, like I said, subscribe to the channel. That's way when I do a live stream, you'll know that you can jump on there with me. Uh, in the comment section, live, real time, while watching the game. Have a lot of fun with it. So make sure you definitely are prepared for that. But before I get out of here, just let you know, Thursday night will be my next appearance on Sports Empire Network for pre-gaming pigskin at 7 p.m. Make sure you tune in because we have a special guest. I want to say Carolina Teague will be our guest. We're talking everything NFL playoffs, wildcard weekend this weekend. We'll get her take on it. We'll discuss the games, make our predictions. You know how the show goes if you tuned in. It's a really good show, so make sure you're there. It's Thursday night, 7 p.m. And we're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikiLive.com. But yeah, so as I always say, let me get this off the screen here. Yeah, so hopefully you had a great day. Be safe out there. God bless. And I'll catch you in the next video. All right. Have a good night.